I've played a lot of different Ironman accounts from region locked to chunk locked and even a few hardcores, but there's one kind of Ironman account I've never really taken a crack at. So come and join me while I bumble my way through this new adventure and see what kind of challenges are waiting for me. My name is Emperor Walnut and this is my Ultimate Ironman series. Hi everyone and welcome to episode 1 of the new series. So the reason I finally decided to sit down and make an Ultimate Ironman account is actually pretty simple. For the past few weeks, even months really, I've just kind of been really bored when I played my main. A lot of the time I just kind of log on, maybe spend an hour or two in the bank, or I just go off and make a little bit of money. I haven't really achieved anything. I haven't really moved towards any kind of progression. I'm just feeling a little burnt out. I just don't really have anything to do on the account. I still have a lot I can do, like the achievement diaries and some PVMing and things like that, but nothing that really makes me feel like I want to play the account. I was also kind of getting the itch to play an Ironman again because I really do miss playing some of my older Snowflake accounts and some other accounts I had tucked away that, were just kind of fun to play when I was feeling bored on my main. And I kind of thought it'd be nice to sit down and try an Ultimate Ironman for the first time. The other reason is I've seen a lot of content creators lately kind of going through and seeing RuneScape for the first time, whether they haven't played in, 10, 15, however many years, or they've just never played the game, period, that it's truly their first time experiencing the game. And while I can't exactly erase all the knowledge I have for the game, I kind of thought if I played an Ultimate Iron Man, it kind of would work the same way because not only will I lose my bank playing the account, but the way you have to progress through quests and skills and PVMing and basically every part of the game is just so different when you compare it to a normal Iron Man account or especially a main. So I really thought that just sounded like a fun challenge, and I just want to see how far I can carry the account. Maybe it'll be really fun and entertaining and I'll find it even more fun than playing my main, or it could drive me completely insane. I honestly have no idea, but I don't want to ramble on too much longer about that. I kind of just want to hop right into the account and talk about what I want to do and how I'm going to do it. So actually the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to the Soul Wars because we need to go to the wilderness. And once we're there, I'll go ahead and start explaining exactly what it is that I want to do. Okay, so after a couple of deaths and coming out to the Chaos Altar and getting a few prayer levels, now I can actually talk about what I'm doing. So I figured one of the easiest things for me to do right now at the start of the account with such a low combat level and not have to worry about PKers and other things out here in the wilderness was to go ahead and head over to the Boneyard, which is just above the Feryx Enclave, and gather up all the big bone spawns that are out there. That way I can just go ahead and rush overhead prayers and a few other useful ones. I might actually just go for 44 and 45 to get Eagle Eye and Mystic Might. That way I already have them done and taken care of. I don't have to worry about doing it later because doing this without the Chaos Altar would just be painfully slow. I mean, it's still not great doing it this way. Just the trips between here and the Chaos Altar take so long. But I actually have my main account back at the Boneyard right now to kill the skeletons around me because I died, I think I died twice there while I was trying to do this. So without any teleports to get back out here, it was just... The trips are absolutely miserable. Is this guy... Oh, God, no, he's way above me. He's not going to PK me. Somebody might, but he's not going to. But anyway, doing this will just save me a lot of time, and it'll really help me later down the line. That way, when even I start some of the smaller combat grinds, I'll already have all these prayers unlocked. So I just want to get this done and out of the way, and then I can go ahead and move on to the next thing I want to do. Okay, we're back at the Boneyard now. I'm sitting here with my main, so... It's going to take me a little bit to gather up another inventory of bones because these two spawns here are really, they're pretty much the only safe ones I can use because the other ones are spread out. I've got them marked on the tiles over here. So these two are the more reliable ones because I can kind of, duck and weave between the two spots and then just have my main take care of the skeletons. But while I'm out here doing this and getting another inventory, I want to go ahead and talk about a couple other things I want to do once I'm actually done getting my overheads unlocked. I guess not the next thing, but something I'd really like to prioritize is pretty much every Iron Man should, is I want to get, bare minimum, I want to get 46 construction. That'll unlock the costume room and get me, I'm pretty sure it'll get me every, storage container in the room, at least at the oak level, which would just be, incredibly useful because it lets you store everything from, Void to Graceful to Shazian armor to the mining outfit. It lets you store so many useful things in there, and obviously not being able to carry them around, that's something I really need to prioritize, because once I start unlocking these other outfits and other pieces of gear that I'm going to need, I can just throw them in the house, and whenever I need them, I just come and get them. I can just take care of them. Whoops, and we're getting attacked. And that's what the main's for. So, yeah, construction is definitely something I'm going to prioritize heavily and get all of that stuff unlocked. That way I don't have to worry about it in the future. Oh, come on. If I die out here again, I'm going to be so pissed. I mean, I don't. Running back kind of sucks. The teleport's on cooldown again, but it is what it is. I just need to pay attention. But anyway, there are also a couple of quests I want to do really early on. That's something else that a few people told me was really important for Ultimate Ironman, because there are certain quests that will send you to places like Intrana, or that just have certain instances or mechanics where you have very limited inventory, or you can't have an inventory, period. So a few that I want to do, like right off the top of my head, I want to do the Lost City quest, because that'll get me started on the path to finishing Fairy Tale 1 and getting through Fairy Tale 2, so I can unlock the Fairy Ring teleport system. It also will get me... It just takes care of one of the biggest requirements I'm going to need from Intrana. I better go ahead and kill this one too. So that'll be one I want to knock out. The other one is Recruitment Drive. It's also a really low-level quest with extremely few requirements. You do have to kill one NPC in there, but again, it's another instance where you can't have absolutely anything in your inventory, at least that I remember. You do have access to, I'm pretty sure it'll give you a weapon while you're doing the quest, like in the room where you actually have to do the combat. I think you'll have access to a few different weapons, but beyond that, there's not a lot of requirements. The NPC isn't very difficult, so I should be able to do that at a fairly low level. I don't know if you can actually use prayers in there. If I can, that would be hilarious and just be really easy. But for some reason, I feel like you can't. Another quest I also want to knock out is the Lost Tribe Goblin quest, because one of the most common items I see among Ironmen is the bone crossbow, because it not only is it obviously very affordable, both it and the ammo, because you can buy packs of bone bolts that are... Oh shit, I'm gonna die again. Please don't die again. Please don't make me have to come back here. You know what? I'm going to go sit up here and recover some health while I go on. But anyway, so after I do the Lost Tribe, I can get a bone crossbow and bolts, and that'll obviously help with my early range training, because, like I said, whether it's like sand crabs or just really any kind of range training I want to do, I've seen countless Ironmen go after that. Another piece of gear that I also want to get is the Artie Cloak, because it gives me an infinite teleport all the way over to the monastery, which gets me on the other side of the world. So there are a few grinds that I may have to do in the future where that teleport is going to be just absolutely essential. Like I may not be able to do it without them. And the requirements for it are really simple. It's like, I know you have to do Rune Mysteries, Biohazard, and a few just other extremely basic things. Like it'll take me no time at all, honestly, even on like this account. There are also a couple of skills I want to focus on first, that being Thieving, Agility, and Magic. Thieving is kind of obvious because it's just going to net me a ton of money, which I'm going to need early on to pay for different services and buy runes and weapons and upgrades and all kinds of things. It also unlocks thieving from stalls and chests. Like eventually I could steal from the chests down in Dorgeshan, for example, that give you a ton of gems, and they actually even give you bone bolts and other things. There's just a lot of useful unlocks that thieving would give me. Agility is another one that, again, is also really obvious. If I get to at least level 48 agility, which is what I plan to do, it'll cut my recovery time completely in half for my run speed. So that'll just make things like, for example, running these bones over to the Chaos Altar a lot less tedious. So that's another big thing I want to knock out and just get taken care of. Magic is the third skill that I really want to focus on early on. That's not to say I'm not going to do other skills. It's just like those are the three off the top of my head that I really feel like I need to devote some time to. Because magic would give me a ton of combat spells. It gives me high alchemy. It gives me, numerous teleports. Again, it's another group of a lot of things that'll just give me a lot of freedom on the account, so I can move around a lot more and just have more access to things. So I'm not worrying about constantly running around and getting stuck in places when I really just need to be somewhere else. So beyond that, like, pretty small list of goals, honestly. Obviously, there's a lot I want to do, but I feel that getting these quests done and getting a few of these other things knocked out will really start me on a good path to progressing this account. Because once I have my house upgraded and I can put other things in it, and once I level up a few more skills, there's just a lot more content that's going to be available to me. I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do after that, but I'll kind of just have to figure that out as I go. I missed the getting 37 to get my first overhead because OBS was acting weird, but there it is. I just have to get 6 more levels, get 2 more overheads, and then I can leave the wilderness for a very, very long time. This time I actually had OBS working right, so I can catch the level this time. That's level 40 and protect from range, just 1 more overhead to go. 42 prayer, and now we're on the home stretch. Not much longer to go. Man, this was a very generous run. I should drop off at 43. Yep, I absolutely will. Just 1 more, and there it is. That's protect from melee, and that's all 3 overheads that I need. So now I'm going to toss away this last bone, get the heck out of here, and go ahead and do my next plan. Okay, so now that I'm back in Lumbridge, if doing all those bone runs taught me anything, it is that I desperately, desperately need to raise my agility level. So that is absolutely going to be the next thing I do. Kind of like I mentioned before, I'm probably going to drop it off right at 48. Maybe I'll round it out at 50 just to have that nice number. But that'll put me at exactly half the recharge rate that I have now. So that'll just be really nice for me going forward. So I'm going to head over to the Gnome course, which I think the easiest way for me to get there is I can steal a little money here in Lumbridge, take the boat over in Remington to the Artie port. I might be wrong about that. I'm going to have to double check. But I'll do the Gnome course, and then I'll switch to Draenor at level 10. Probably go ahead and switch to the Alcarid course at 20. I'll see which one has less laps, because I know the XP difference isn't huge. And then at 30, I'll switch over to Varrock, and I'll probably stay there until I hit 48 or 50, because according to the calculator on Runelight, the difference in XP is like maybe a couple laps. I know the Canifis course gives a lot more Marks of Grace, which actually is probably going to end up being the first item that sits in my inventory for quite a while, but I'm not going to have enough of them to really do anything with, and I'd obviously have to go through Priest in Peril to get over to the Canifis course, which is something I will do eventually, but it's not something I really feel I need to do now. So the plan right now is to head over to the Gnome course and get started on agility. This is easily one of my favorite things about new accounts is like no matter what you do, like whatever skill you work on, whatever you're doing, just seeing all the XP come in and all the levels, it's a really good feeling to see your account progress so quickly. And knowing the kind of challenges that are ahead of me with an Ultimate Ironman and the things I'm going to have to do to get levels going forward once I get, past base 50s, base 60s, base 70s, I know those grinds are going to be absolutely terrible. Like, I'm not even going to pretend that they won't be. They might not be too bad depending on what I'm doing and what methods I use, as long as I'm enjoying myself. But I just know that, XP rates for Ironman in general are, I think most people have told me that it's like 2 to 3 times longer for any Ironman to get really any skill leveled up than it is a normal account. But I guess I'm going to find out for myself. But at least for now, I am definitely going to enjoy these early levels. I missed getting the shot for hitting level 10 and leaving the Gnome course because I was paying attention to what my main was doing for a second. But now I can start on the Draenor course, and I probably won't be here much longer than I was at the Gnome course. Then I can move right along and see what kind of XP I can get over at Alcarid. I was a little late on getting OBS up. It's really early in the morning. I just decided to wake up and play. But there's my first Mark of Grace. Hopefully that's the first of many because Graceful is just one of the outfits I'd love to have as soon as possible. That'll be 20 agility here in just a second. It's not too bad. I wound up with 6 Marks of Grace on this course, so hopefully that stack just grows a little bigger. But now I can switch over to the Alcarid course and get a few more levels. So I had to double check the quest requirements and everything for recruitment drive, and I kind of forgot that I thought it was just like armor, weapons, runes. You can't bring literally anything into the instance. Your inventory has to be completely empty. So I'm actually probably going to hold off on that quest for a little while because other than getting initiated and eventually proselyte armor, there's not a whole lot of really need from the quest. Which even if I wait, a little longer to end up doing it, I'll either unlock some kind of death storage or I'll find a way to toss my items out so I can keep them somewhere else until I do it. But I'm probably going to go ahead and hold off on that for now. I'm kind of bummed out by that, actually. I should have looked into it more before I kind of put that on the list of something I wanted to do. Up to 30 agility, 19 Marks of Grace, and now I can switch to the Varrock course. Actually, no, that's a lie. Before I do go, I am going to get level 5 Thieving because when I did the course before, I actually fell quite a bit at the start. On my Varrock account, I meant. So I do want to get my Thieving up to 5 so that way I can get a bunch of tea out of the stall just in case Thankfully, somewhere up in here, there's a few men that, for whatever reason, don't have the talk to option. So if you turn your attack options to hidden, you can just spam click them like crazy to pickpocket. So I'll just do that till level 5 and then I'll leave. There's level 3. There's level 4. And that's level 5. Okay, now I can take off for Varric and start hitting up that rooftop course. Oh, hey, it's my first random event that's not Jekyll. I think I got him like 4 times in a row. I mean, I can't really do anything with the piece, I guess. I can wear it for a little while, but at least it's a slot off the collection log, so let's see what I get. And... oh shit, I got the hat. That... you know what, I'm actually really happy with that. That'll be some nice fashionscape for a while. I finally got my first mystery box. I would absolutely give up an inventory slot if this means I get to carry around a stale baguette, so... please? Huh. Okay, that's... you know what the hell, let's see what the step is. Huh, that's kind of cool. I wonder if I could actually complete this. You know what, I'm going to hold on to this for now. I have no idea if I can actually do it. I severely doubt I can, considering I have like no levels in anything, but you never know. I'll hold on to it for just a little while. And that's going to be level 40 agility. So I was looking at the calculator real quick, and I was right. There's only, between the Varrock course and the Canifis course, there's only a 2-lap difference. So I actually am going to go ahead and stay here to 50, just get it out at that nice number. That way I also have 50 agility for the Rogue's Den if I ever decide to go down there. As far as the Marks of Grace go, I'm probably going to go ahead and use them up and maybe just buy some crystal packs if I get to 50 thieving and go down to the Rogue's Den, because the Graceful set, I mean, it would be cool to have and everything, but like, to be completely honest, unless I actually sit down and take the time to grind out full Graceful right now, which I really don't want to do, especially without the Canifis course, there's really no reason for me to keep them or to have the Graceful set right now. It's just not something I want to do in the early stages, so I'll probably keep these, maybe get 50 thieving while I have some spare time, and then just use these to buy the crystal packs to make stamina potions and just toss them over to my main for some extra money, I guess, because I really just don't want to hold on to these much longer and give up the slot. I missed the level, but that's 41 agility and 125 total. 42. Totally missed it again. I'm going to blame OBS on this one, but that was level 43. I don't think I talked about this earlier, but I'm going to skip doing Winter Todd at a lower level for now, simply because while I would end up with a ton of rewards getting all the way to 99 fire making, the issue is, unless I spend a lot more time getting up like my wood cutting, my farming, my herb lore, my fishing, the rewards really aren't going to be that good. Like, yeah, if I walked away with a few Raynar seeds and a few herbs, like that would be nice to have for the future, but the problem is all the other rewards I would just have to dump. They really wouldn't do anything for me. Like, yeah, maybe a few cooking levels if I get some low level fish, but it just overall it wouldn't be worth the time investment right now to do Winter Todd. I can do it later before I get a ton of HP levels, and even then it won't be so bad because I can just grab a bunch of cakes, go up there, and still not take a whole lot of damage. But for right now, I'm just not going to worry about it. Level 44, level 45, 46, 4 into 7 makes 47, 48. Okay, so the last time I did this random, it just straight up didn't give me any XP. Maybe I did it wrong, maybe I fished in the wrong spot, I don't know, but we're going to see what happens this time if I actually get the XP. And yep, I did it right that time, and we got level 10 fishing. Level 49, just one more to go. There's the final obstacle, and that's level 50 agility. I'm actually kind of surprised I ended up with a lot more Marks of Grace than I thought I would. I feel so bad because I've gone back and forth. Oh, I'll keep them. No, I won't. I'll sell them off, give the money to my main, whatever. I've decided for now I am going to keep them. I'm still not going to make a mad dash for Graceful, but... And I know, I do understand, obviously, inventory slots are super important for Ultimate Ironman. I need every slot I can get, but for now, I'm just going to hold on to them. I don't really see a reason not to. I understand that, rushing Graceful is kind of, it's not the smartest thing to do, which I'm not going to do anyway, so, but either way, I'm going to keep the marks for now. What I am going to do next is I'm still going to do thieving because I'm going to need, obviously, some cash to buy runes and a few other things. Construction's coming up. I'm going to need a ton of money for that, for making all my planks. But before I do that, I want to see if I can do this clue scroll, because there are a few items I could get from this, like Some of the ornament kits for scimitars, I think I can get a black pickaxe. Like, there's a few things that would be kind of cool to get from an easy clue casket. So, let's see. What is this? Oh yeah, I can absolutely do that step. I might actually be able to get this one done because I think easy clues. I'm pretty sure easy clues is a minimum of, I want to say 2 steps. It might be 1 step because I know beginner clues can be 1 step. But I think at most it only can take 4 steps for an easy clue. So, yeah, there's a very real chance I can get this done. Other than the pickaxe, the rune scimitar ornament kits, the reason I say that is because if you put the ornament kit on a rune scimitar, you can actually store it in your player-owned house in one of the containers in the costume room. So I'm trying to think. I know there's a few amulets you can get, like you can get like a trimmed magic amulet, which would be kind of cool. I don't know if you can get like a trimmed power amulet or anything. That might come from a medium clue. I'm not entirely sure, but I am going to cross my fingers and see if I can get a 2-step clue. That would be fantastic, because even the requirements for most easy clues actually aren't that bad. No, what's the 3rd step? Southeast of the Lake Mulchinzaya. Where the heck is that? Could I actually do that? You know what? Yeah, I actually could, because I'm gonna go to Zaya anyway as part of how I plan to do construction. So, you know what? I'm actually gonna go ahead and just keep hold of this easy clue. There is a very real chance I'll get this done. I'm not gonna finish it right now. I still want to get on the thieving grind, make some money, get some runes together, because I want to go do Lost City and a few other things that I'm gonna need. I'm gonna have to kill some things for. So, I figure magic's gonna be easiest to start off with that. So, yeah, we'll keep a hold of the easy clue for now, and I am going to go back to Al-Kharid and get back on the thieving grind. I only had to get to level 10 pickpocketing the men in Al-Kharid. Then I just bought a whole bunch of kebabs and came up here, because the nice thing is this farmer here pretty much never leaves this house. I've got him locked behind the bed, and it's double the XP, double the coins out of the pouches, so I'm definitely going to stick with this for a little while, because I could definitely do stalls or other things for better XP, but it's more about just building a little bit of a cash stack for stuff I'm going to need. So just, 2 birds, 1 stone. I'm up to 15 thieving, and I could switch over to ham members for better XP, but the problem is their drops are kind of terrible from pickpocketing. Like, I could get a steel pickaxe, I could start getting rope pieces, but you have a better chance of getting them during the quest anyway. So I'm actually probably going to stay at the farmers until, I'm pretty sure it's 25 as warriors. Yeah, and then I'll just kind of keep going up as I get closer to 50. I'm not going to go directly to the rogue's den at 50, kind of like I had planned to spend my graceful before, but that way I'm at 50, I can just leave it there. I can still pickpocket plenty of things, and if I do decide to go for graceful, the thieving requirement's already done and out of the way. Plus, I'll end up with a bunch of cash after I'm done. I kind of had to go through all my kebabs because of the farmer punched me in the face so many times, so I just grabbed an axe and reduced the local chicken population a little bit, because the great thing is, there is a toasty little fire in this house I can cook these bad boys on. There we go, if I can actually cook some of them. I hit 25 thieving down at the farmer, so now I'm just going to grab an inventory of tea and switch to the warriors that are in the back of the Varrock Castle. It'd be a little slower just because I have to get my success rate up, but with free food right here and then just sticking at them for, let me see, how long am I going to pickpocket them? I could switch to, no, I'm not going to the wilderness to go to rogue, so I'll probably do it till 40 and switch to guards, and then just do that to 50 and move on to the next part of the plan. I was clicking a little too fast and ended up missing it, but I did get 30 thieving. I decided to come back to the farmers because the warriors up in the castle were just hitting me way too often. Like, it wasn't too bad to go run and get an inventory of tea and come back, but I was burning through maybe 3 to 4 teas before a handful of successful pickpockets. I mean, it doesn't help that I still have 10 HP. Honestly, I could go do the witch's house or something just to help me with that, so that's something I might actually end up doing. I actually did decide to do the witch's house quest. I needed a break from thieving, and I figured, why not, this will get me a few magic levels, it'll get me a ton of HP levels, and it's just a super simple quest, so I just took some of the gold and blew it on some runes. I figure I'll just pray melee against the first form, and all 3 other forms are safe spottable, so I can't imagine I won't get this done. It really shouldn't be that hard. It'd be so sad if I had to leave for this. Okay, that's the witch's house completed and the very first quest done in the account. That's pretty cool to see. That took a lot longer than I thought it was going to. I'll probably use the rest of these runes up down on the chickens or cows or something and then go back to thieving. I kind of want to switch up what I'm doing a little bit. I still want to aim for construction and a few other low-level quests, but I might change up how I'm going about it. There's a few things I'm going to need to look up first before I can really decide. That's 40 thieving, which means I can now officially do guards. And I think with that, I'm going to go ahead and do a couple of quests that'll get me some early construction experience, which is absolutely necessary to skip like just some of the early grind because it would be miserable otherwise. Plus, this finally gives me an excuse to go to Zaya because what I really like to do is I'm going to sit in the town square in Curran Castle because if I can actually get over to Zaya, the hell is it? There it is. Because there's a baker stall right here, so I can constantly refill myself with food, sit here and pickpocket the guards to 50. Then I'm going to take all the cash I've earned, buy runes, buy certain construction materials, and then I can finally start on the construction grind. And once I hit 50 thieving and start doing a few more quests to get over to Zaya, I'll actually explain how I'm going to do construction all the way to 46. So for all the talking I've done of this big Grandmaster plan I have to handle construction, I figured I'd actually talk about exactly how I plan to do it. The first step is going to be getting level 17 construction. I can do that through a couple of quests. It's going to be the mini quest Daddy's Home, X Marks the Spot, and Client of Curran. Daddy's Home gets you a free house, some materials, and I think it's 1,000 construction XP. And then X Marks the Spot and Client of Curran give you the XP lamps. If you dump all of those into construction, you'll end up with level 14. And then one I forgot to put on the list is I'll have to do the Tower of Life, which will bump me up to 17. Once I hit 17, I'm going to go to Port Khazard because there is a plank spawn there. I'm going to pick up a bunch of planks, use the boat to go, or I'm sorry, run back up to Artie, take the boat from Artie to Remington, go to my house, build a couple of regular larders, and I'm just going to keep repeating that process until I hit level 25. And the reason I want to hit 25 is because then you can move your house to Osidius. And this is another reason I want to do unlock Zaya because I'm actually going to be on Zaya for quite a while. There's a lot of things there I want to accomplish that are kind of all part of like money making construction and a few other things I want to get done. But the biggest thing is with going to Osidius and putting my house there, I do need to get 100% favor. I don't exactly need 100% favor, but I'm just going to do it because there are a lot of really useful features that come with having 100% favor in Osidius. Like you can enter the woodcutting guild, which obviously having access to that sawmill is going to be a huge part of this. You get a disease-free farming patch. There's a few other things you get, which I don't really remember. The easiest way to do that is I'm going to take the certificate I get from doing, I think you get it from Client of Curran, which gives you 20% in any house you want. So I'm going to throw that into Osidius. Then I'll just have to do the little mini game where you mix saltpeter and compost together. It's like worth, I think, 0.1%. So it's going to take a few hundred of those to hit 90%. And then I can do Depths from Despair, which will give me the last 10%. And from doing Depths of Despair, it'll also give me the Sand Snake, which I'm pretty sure is like actually one of the really popular monsters to use in the Nightmare Zone, because I know later in this account I'll end up spending a ton of time there doing rings and my Salve Amulet and whatever else I decide to bring down there. I just know it's really important to spend a lot of time there and get a bunch of points. So once the house thing is all taken care of, I'm going to get 60 woodcutting to actually access the woodcutting guild and the sawmill. I'm also going to fletch from 30 to 60. That way I can just sell the willow bows for extra money on top of all the money I'll get from thieving the guards and the Curran Castle Square, because even though I'm only getting like 20 construction levels, it's still going to take quite a bit of money. I haven't worked out how much yet, but I'm sure I'll figure that out and I'll throw it up on screen once I figure it out. So once I hit 25, get 60 woodcutting, go through all of that, I have access to the sawmill. My house portal is right over in Osidius, which is actually a fairly reasonable distance. The run isn't that bad at all. My plan is to go to the woodcutting guild, cut oak logs, make them into planks, run them to my house, and just do oak larders. And I'm just going to keep repeating that process until I hit, it's actually, I keep saying level 46. It's actually level 48 because I forget which container it is. But one of the containers in the costume room needs level 48. I swear it's the magic wardrobe. I'm probably wrong about that. I'll probably toss that on screen too, just to prove myself wrong. So that's pretty much the outline of the whole plan for me to get my construction up. I again, I kind of didn't want to spoil it for myself by just looking up a guide on YouTube or other things. Like, yeah, I kind of use the wiki to help get myself started, like looking up, oh, do these quests for level 17. But beyond that, I really just kind of want to figure things out on my own. And when I saw that there's a sawmill in the Woodcutting Guild and the Hosidius house portal is right across the way, I thought, well, I might as well use that while I can. I'm sure there's way better methods. Like, I know you can. I'm sure I could like just wait and not do construction so early. That's probably also part of it, but I just want to get these levels and get it out of the way because once I have all these containers, I can start gathering all these different costumes and armor sets and all these different things that are going to be super useful going forward with the account. I'll have them all in one place. I'll never have to worry about it. And then, not to say I can ignore construction for a long time, but that will be a lot of construction that I just don't have to worry about. I'll have all those containers. I'll have access to a bunch of other things I can build in the house too, which will just make my life so easy going forward. So that is pretty much like the big plan right now. So a lot of thieving. I'm still going to go to 50. Just again, cap it off at 50. Stop there. See how much cash I have. See how much cash I get from doing fletching the willow bows. Put it all into construction, and hopefully that should drop me off right over at 48. I almost actually forgot I had this clue scroll, so this is going to be step 3. I'm really hoping that... Oh, and that's the casket. That's awesome, too. That's the very first clue on this account. Other than a black pickaxe, the ornament kits I talked about, which don't really matter right now, but could, be useful later, I really don't know what else could be in here, so I thought this would be a really nice way to end off the episode. Let's see what we get. Huh. You know what? That's not very good, I guess. I don't know. For a second, I thought like the black plate body could be useful, I guess, but I kind of keep forgetting I'm not a snowflake account. I can literally just go to any store and buy like adamant chain myth. Like I can basically buy any upgrades I want that I can actually get to. So I got to keep in that mindset I'm not a snowflake account anymore, but. That's still really cool. I was actually able to finish an easy clue. I had a few beginner clues I dropped just because I couldn't be bothered with them, when I get the Charlie steps. But, hey, you know what? All in all, that's not a bad way to end the episode. So I think next time we're really going to break into more thieving and construction and really just finish those grinds up. And then what I'd like to do is probably start filling up all those costume rune containers, like with Void and a few other things. So we'll have to see what I decide to end up working towards. But I really do appreciate you guys for watching the first episode, and I hope you enjoy the series.